100,000 pickup trucks worth billions are sitting unsold, trapped in silence while dealers bleed thousands each month. The Nissan Titan was supposed to dethrone Detroit's biggest. Instead, nearly 200 days on the lot turned it into a six-figure liability. Even icons like the Jeep Gladiator and Toyota Tundra are piling up, their sales down nearly 50% or recalled en masse over catastrophic engine failures. Price tags hit $97,000 on electric pickups, never leaving the lot. Behind closed doors, sales managers stare at rows of inventory, calculating every lost dollar and wondering how America, once obsessed with trucks, ended up with 21 models no one wants. Why are legendary brands, futuristic EVs, and luxury badges meeting rejection in the land of truck worship? The answer upends everything manufacturers thought they knew about American drivers. And what's coming next could rewrite the future of pickup trucks altogether. Nissan's gamble on the Titan began with a promise: to break Detroit's grip on the full-size truck market. In 2005, Titan sales peaked at 86,945 units. Back then, Nissan executives talked about taking a double-digit market share, envisioning rows of Titans lining work sites and suburban driveways across America. Fast forward to 2025, and the story couldn't be more different. Only 1,517 Titans found buyers in the first quarter. The average Titan now sits on a dealer lot for 255 days, nearly 9 months, while competitors like Ford and Chevy cycle through inventory at less than half that rate. A Nissan sales manager summed up the mood. "We used to order Titans by the truckload. Now I'm lucky to sell one a month. I've got 3 that haven't moved since last summer." The numbers are relentless. In 2022, sales dropped below 20,000, and by the time Nissan confirmed the Titan's discontinuation, most dealers had already written it off as dead weight. The carrying costs pile up: floor plan interest, insurance, depreciation. For some dealers, each unsold Titan costs over $50 a day just to keep on the lot. Multiply that by months of inactivity, and the losses outpace any hope of profit. It isn't for lack of trying. The Titan's 5.6-liter V8 churns out 400 horsepower with a 9,290-pound towing capacity and a 5-year, 100,000-mile warranty. On paper, it matches the segment leaders. But the reality is starker. Full-size truck buyers value loyalty, community, and a deep bench of aftermarket support. The Titan never built that following. Limited configurations, a thin dealer network in truck-heavy regions, and a reputation for being the outsider left it stranded. Discounts haven't solved the problem. Dealers slash $10,000 or more off the sticker, but even at fire sale prices, buyers hesitate. Many worry about parts availability, resale value, and future service, now that Nissan has pulled the plug. The Titan's story closes not with a bang, but with a slow fade. Dust gathering on hoods, managers eyeing the balance sheet, and a brand quietly stepping back from a fight it could never win. As the last units trickle out, the Titan stands as proof that in America's truck market, horsepower and specs can't buy the kind of loyalty Detroit has spent generations building. GMC's planners bet big on the Canyon's upscale makeover, rolling out a midsize truck with a $40,000 starting price, and Denali trims topping $52,000. For buyers used to seeing midsize trucks as affordable workhorses, the new Canyon landed with a thud. Year to date, 18,339 Canyons have sold, up from last year. But second quarter sales slid nearly 19%, and inventory is piling up. The problem isn't just sticker shock. The Canyon now competes with full-size trucks on price, but not on space, power, or cachet. Dealers are left explaining why a loaded midsize costs more than some Silverados. One GMC salesperson put it bluntly: people walk in, see the price, and go straight to the Chevy side of the lot. Jeep's Gladiator is stuck in the same rut. Launched to Wrangler fanfare, it now sits unsold for an average of 138 days, despite J.D. Power ranking it first in midsize truck quality 3 years running. Sales dropped to 42,123 units in 2024, down nearly 48% from its launch year high. Even after Stellantis slashed the entry price to $38,100 and loaded up incentives, buyers aren't biting. The Gladiator's top trims, like the Mojave X at $63,095, push deep into luxury territory, but buyers compare it to the Tacoma or even a used Ram and walk away. A Jeep manager summed up the mood. "We thought people would pay for the badge and the open roof. Turns out, they want a deal." Both brands misread the market, chasing luxury margins while buyers hunt for value. The result? Mid-size trucks with premium price tags and slow-moving inventory, forcing dealers into deeper discounts just to clear space. Instead of bridging the gap between affordable utility and upscale comfort, the Canyon and Gladiator have fallen into a price trap of their own making. GMC's electric truck strategy was built on optimism and spreadsheets, not real-world demand. The Sierra EV, with its $97,000 starting price and bold promises of a 400-mile range and 10,000 pounds of towing, was meant to prove that Detroit could out-Tesla Tesla. Instead, it's become a symbol of what happens when production targets ignore buyer reality. Sierra EVs now sit on dealer lots for an average of 196 days, over 6 months, while the Chevrolet Silverado E-Five, its corporate twin, isn't faring much better at 130 days. Dealers across the Midwest report rows of unsold trucks, many still wearing factory plastic on the seats. The mismatch is glaring. GM shipped thousands of high-spec electric pickups expecting early adopters to pay luxury prices, but buyers are holding back. One dealer in Ohio put it this way: "We got 14 Sierra EVs in April, 2 test drives, 0 sales. At this price, people want a Cadillac, not a science project." The numbers bear him out. Just 853 Sierra EVs sold in a recent 45-day stretch, with more than 3,700 still in inventory. For the Silverado E-Five, only 1,263 units moved in the same period, leaving nearly 4,000 unsold. On paper, these trucks offer everything: fast charging, 4-wheel steering, even the ability to power your house in a blackout. But buyers looking for a workhorse are running into hard limits. Hauling a trailer or loading up the bed can cut the real-world range by half, leaving owners searching for charging stations long before the job is done. A fleet manager in Texas tried out a Sierra EV for his landscaping crew. Towing a trailer, we made it 120 miles before the warning light came on. That's less than half the range on the sticker. It just doesn't work for what we need. The price gap is just as hard to ignore. The Sierra EV Denali Edition 1, loaded with features, crosses the $100,000 mark after destination and dealer fees. At that level, even buyers trading in luxury SUVs are hesitating. Lower trims are supposed to arrive later, but dealers say interest is almost non-existent at the current price point. Meanwhile, each unsold truck racks up floor plan interest, sometimes $50 a day, eating into dealer margins and patience. GM's planners banked on a surge of demand that never materialized. The result? Lots full of unsold electric pickups, frustrated dealers, and a growing sense that the electric truck revolution is stalling before it ever really started. The F-150 Lightning was supposed to change the game, a full-size electric pickup with Ford's badge and a waiting list of early adopters. But instead of leading a revolution, the Lightning has become the poster child for a new kind of risk: the electric recall. In April, Ford issued a recall for 29,500 Lightning trucks, nearly every unit built in the past year, after engineers discovered that a critical steering control arm could separate from the front knuckle. The failure isn't just a nuisance. If the control arm lets go, drivers can lose all steering control in an instant. The recall notice spells it out: Loss of directional control, increased crash risk, immediate service required. Dealers who were counting on the Lightning to bring fresh traffic now find their lots full of unsellable trucks. One Midwest Ford manager summed it up. "We have 8 Lightnings parked out back. Everyone is flagged for the recall. I can't sell them, I can't move them, and there's no fix in sight." The average Lightning sits on the lot for 141 days, almost 5 months, while Ford scrambles for a solution and buyers grow more wary. The timing couldn't be worse. The recall expanded from an earlier campaign, and it's not the only problem. Lightning owners are already watching their resale values slide, and battery-related recalls have made headlines for fire risks and charging limits. But nothing shakes trust like a safety defect that can cause a crash. For many, the Lightning now carries a stigma: too new, too risky, too many question marks. Ford's engineers are under pressure to restore confidence, but the damage is done. In the world of electric trucks, reputation is everything. One owner put it bluntly: "I wanted to be part of the future. Now I'm just waiting for the call that my truck is finally safe to drive." As the recall drags on, the Lightning's promise dims, and the cautionary tale grows. For every truck that sits idle, the message spreads. When something this big goes wrong, it's not just a setback. It's a warning for the entire EV experiment. Rows of Ram 2500s line dealership lots, their window stickers fading under the summer sun. Across the country, 31,729 heavy-duty Rams are listed for sale, but only 7,149 found buyers in the last 45 days. That's a 200-day supply, more than 6 months of trucks waiting for owners who aren't showing up. Every unsold truck becomes a daily liability. Floor plan financing, once a minor line item, now drains dealer accounts at a rate of $50 per vehicle per day. For a single Ram 2500, that's $1,500 in a single month just to sit idle. Multiply that by dozens of trucks, and the numbers start to look like a slow-motion bleed. A sales manager in Indiana runs the math every morning. "I've got 42 heavy-duty Rams on the lot. That's over $2,000 a day in interest. We used to sell these as fast as they arrived. Now I'm paying more to keep them here than I'll ever make on the sale." This isn't just about interest. Insurance, lot maintenance, and depreciation pile on with every passing week. A 2500 that sits 200 days racks up $10,000 in carrying costs before the first test drive. Dealers try everything: deep discounts, 0% financing, even free toolboxes. But the trucks stay put. The cost isn't just financial. Morale drops as the unsold inventory grows. Managers field calls from Stellantis, asking why allocations aren't moving. Salespeople, once proud to move a $70,000 truck, now brace for the next floor plan statement. "We're not in the truck business anymore," one manager says. "We're in the storage business, and storage is killing us." For every Ram 2500 that sits, the pressure mounts. Dealers face a choice: slash prices and eat the loss, or hold out and hope demand returns. With inventory piling up and daily costs compounding, the clock isn't on their side. Toyota built its reputation on one promise above all: reliability. For decades, the Tundra was the safe bet, a truck you could buy, drive for 300,000 miles, and pass down to your kids. That confidence shattered in 2024, when Toyota issued a recall for 102,000 Tundras and Lexus LX SUVs. The culprit: machining debris left inside the V35, a twin-turbo V6 engines, a flaw that could destroy the crankshaft's main bearings and leave owners stranded. This wasn't just a hiccup. Tundra engines were failing with less than 40,000 miles on the odometer. Some owners described their trucks dying on the highway, service lights flashing, with no warning and no fix in sight. Dealers felt the impact almost immediately. New Tundras, once a rare find, started piling up. By late spring, the average Tundra sat unsold for 220 to 250 days. A stark reversal for a brand that used to turn inventory in under a month. One longtime Toyota customer, who'd traded in a 2017 model for a 2023, summed up the mood. "I trusted Toyota to get it right. Now my truck's in the shop for months, and nobody can tell me when I'll get it back." The frustration wasn't limited to buyers. Service managers reported wait lists for engine replacements, with parts on backorder and no clear timeline from headquarters. Some dealerships even started refusing new Tundra allocations, unwilling to take on inventory they knew would be hard to move. The financial math is brutal. A Tundra sitting 250 days racks up thousands in floor plan interest, insurance, and depreciation, eating away any hope of profit. Discounts, once unheard of for Toyota trucks, ballooned to $10,000 or more off sticker just to get them off the lot. Loyalty has its limits. Owners who once swore by Toyota reliability now trade horror stories online, warning others to steer clear until the engine mess is sorted. For the first time in a generation, the Tundra's halo has dimmed. Buyers who used to pay a premium for peace of mind now find themselves with leverage and a long memory of what happens when even the safest bet in trucks comes up snake eyes. Lordstown Motors began with a promise to put Ohio back on the electric vehicle map. In 2021, banners hung outside the old GM plant, touting the endurance pickup as the future of American work trucks. Investors poured in millions. Local officials posed for ribbon cuttings. But by June 2023, the dream was over. Lordstown filed for bankruptcy after building just 31 trucks, barely enough to fill a single dealership lot. Of those, 19 were immediately recalled for critical defects, including spontaneous electrical fires and drivetrain failures, giving the Endurance a 61% recall rate before it even hit the road. The collapse left suppliers unpaid and workers out of jobs. One former engineer described the mood as funeral-like. Nobody spoke above a whisper those last weeks. Receivership paperwork listed only a handful of assets: unsold trucks, a half-empty factory, and a lawsuit against Foxconn, their would-be manufacturing partner. For buyers, the Endurance became a collector's item for all the wrong reasons: a truck with no future, no parts support, and no company left to honor the warranty. Lordstown's story isn't just about missed targets or slow sales. It's the cautionary tale of a startup that overpromised, underdelivered, and left a crater where a comeback was supposed to be. For anyone watching the electric truck gold rush, it's a stark reminder. Sometimes, what's left behind is nothing but dust and debt. Timing is everything when you're hunting for a deal on a slow-selling truck. Dealers pay floor plan interest at the end of each month, and every unsold pickup becomes a ticking expense, often $50 a day or more. That's why the best negotiations happen in the last week of the month, when managers are staring down their biggest bills and just want inventory gone. One subscriber shared how he saved $12,500 off MSRP on a Tundra by tracking its days on lot with a free inventory tool, then showing up just before the floor plan cutoff. The sales manager didn't even haggle. He just wanted that truck off his books before the next round of interest charges hit. The trick is simple. Focus on trucks that have been sitting over 90 days, bring proof, and be ready to walk. Dealers know these units are bleeding money. Use that leverage. In today's market, patience and good timing can turn someone else's pain into your own win, especially when the pressure to clear lots is higher than it's been in years. On average, the Nissan Titan sat 187 days on dealer lots in 2024, a stark indicator of how far ambition can fall short of reality. Across every brand examined, from the 102,000 Toyota Tundras recalled for engine failures to the Ram 2500's 200-day inventory backlog, the evidence reveals a repeating pattern. Pricing missteps, overproduction, and eroding trust have left trucks gathering dust while dealers face mounting losses of $50 per vehicle per day. While buyers have turned these failures into opportunity, some saving over $12,000 on unwanted models, key questions remain. Manufacturers have not disclosed how they will address persistent quality issues, and the long-term impact on brand loyalty is unclear. What is certain, documented by sales figures and inventory reports, is that the disconnect between what's built and what buyers want continues to grow. As the market evolves, the fate of these trucks serves as a reminder. Ignoring real consumer needs comes at a measurable cost.